I had an interesting mail from somebody who's doing some work on the ancient meat curing practices. And for the last couple of years, I've been on and off involved in Nigeria. And in 2023, I've been here most of the time. And there's a couple of insights that came to me as far as meat curing in Africa is concerned. One of the areas is the use of salt. I'm changing my mind a little bit about the regularity with which salt was used in meat preparations. From work that I've done on the Kru people down in the Western Cape, the Khoi people, it seems as if they connected salt with health problems, and they ascribed their longevity. Apparently, they became a lot older than the average European would become, and one of the reasons that they gave for that is the fact that they didn't use salt in their food and in their meat preparations. It seems to me as if drying of meat was the main way in Africa that meat was preserved, and where they used ash. The ash was used for two reasons. One was for the taste, and another one was to prevent flies from sitting on the meat. So I think salt was not widely used. I think they understood the dehydrating nature of salt, and salt was not widely used in Africa as far as at least southern Africa, and I'm not 100% sure here in West Africa. I haven't interrogated the issue of salt that aggressively here in terms of meat preparations, but I do see a lot more is the use of spices. But that spices does not necessarily include salt. In Nigeria, the main way that the guys are preserving meat here is through their use of they would deep fry. So palm oil was give me a second, Sunday. Palm oil was a big here, and they would deep fry the products. They would first cook it and then deep fry it, which was the main way that meat was being preserved. As far as the slaughtering of the animals are concerned, I think the slaughtering was mainly done on the ground, as it is being done till this day. And an interesting thing that I saw is that they sprinkle blood on the carcass after it's been slaughtered. And I think the reason for that, just a suspicion, is that it's a way to get the healthy bacteria which comes from the skin to proliferate. And the healthy bacteria, the presence of healthy bacteria, keeps at bay pathogens. And that's something that I came across. Richard Bosman and myself are doing a lot of work on nitrite-free curing, and we started to understand the importance of microorganisms as a way to preserve. We took broth, bone broth, and we were able to preserve it easily for over a month by having the right colony of healthy bacteria in the broth. And I've got a suspicion that it's similar here in West Africa. I was surprised. One of the things that absolutely amazed me was the fact that how long meat lasts here in the retail shelves from animals that is effectively slab slaughtered on the ground, not even hoisted up. And I think the function of the blood, it's a possibility, was to I think they figured out that if the blood would have some kind of a preserving effect, and that preserving effect is because it's food for the for healthy bacteria, Staphylococcus type of bacteria, that will multiply and keep at bay pathogens. So those are a couple of interesting thoughts that I had about the use of salt and meat preservation. I think even on fresh animals to preserve the meat, I don't think salt was really used, and even the notion that salt was used to preserve the skins, I think that maybe came later. Skins were consumed. They would eat the skin, even into the Congo, DRC, even down into South Africa. The koi would eat skins. I think the entire animal was consumed. They would boil the blood, maybe catch the blood in the bladder or other organs. They would definitely try and prevent the blood from going to waste, and they will boil them and eat it. The entire animal was consumed, including the skin. Salt, I think, played a very minor role in food.